Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it appears that our favorite gacha game on the market, Wuthering Waves, it appears that Wuthering Waves just cannot stop winning, because yes, in the public eye, it appears that this game has just been dominating the market with pretty much all of the news that's been coming out. And right off of the back of announcements from way before, where we saw that Wuthering Waves was apparently earning at least $550+ million in USD across the year of 2025, well, a lot of people saw this to be somewhat unreliable, right? A lot of people saw this to be somewhat unrealistic, given the performance that the game has typically seen on some of the only public metrics available, estimates. Mobile sales. People were always commenting on the fact that mobile sales just didn't appear as high as some other titles in the present, and as a result, they thought that this, evergreen classification from Tencent for a game that makes at least this much every year, they thought it was a bunch of bullshit. But as it turns out, there are other resources, there are other data sources that have been gathered, and we've got a bit of a summary over here by Mr. Sticks. Wuthering Waves has officially become the #1 most played gacha game on PC worldwide, followed closely by Genshin Impact at second place, and apparently has also attained the spot for the 18th most played PC game in the world, where Genshin's obviously going to be in 19th. So that is likely just going to be a realization for a lot of the gacha community. Yes, people play this game a lot on the computer. And what's another realization that you're probably going to have that we will explore later? People spend on the platform that they play on the most. I don't know anybody that primarily plays this game on the PC and then decides, oh yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and spend money on console. I'm going to go ahead and spend money on the phone. That's just not really what happens, right? And so we've actually got some of these slides over here that break out and show all of this information. This is what it's looking like, right? You got Roblox at #1, which is insane. Counter-Strike 2 at #2. League of Legends at 3. Minecraft at 4. Fortnite at 5. Not really surprising to see titles like this in the top 5. Then we have Dota 2 at #6. I feel like this game has not actually been this high before, but yeah, it's becoming a solid evergreen title of its own. Valorant at 7, World of Warcraft at 8, The Sims 4, Black Ops 7, Escape from Tarkov, Overwatch 2, Marvel Rivals, PUBG. I guess World of Warcraft Classic is at 15. I guess they call it a different game than GTA 5. Gonna be honest. These are all pretty much household names, right, ladies and gentlemen? These are all pretty much games that I feel like everyone has seen before. And while other titles, right, that, you thought might have been a bit outdated, like Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2, yeah, I guess they've made a bit of a recovery. PC gaming apparently is at some of the strongest levels it's ever been. And alongside titles that look like this, you now have Wuthering Waves in at #18. And when you see the difference between #18 and 14 over here, it's by literally 0.01%, right? Not a particularly large amount. And now you're going to be seeing people in chat saying things like, oh, where's Battlefield 6? Where's Arc Raiders? Well, they're not in the top 20. So well, there you go. You already know where the answer is. They're not in the top 20. So why are you asking in my chat? Yeah, are you dumb? Anyways, Wuthering Waves is over here at #18. Then you got Genshin Impact at 19, and then Apex Legends at 20. And, well, if your game isn't on here, then your game isn't in the top 20. So yes, ZZZ players, yes, AKE players, yes, all of you players, that your game is not here. And so naturally, this has become a bit of a tribalistic conversation, right? Where the only two competitors that remain are Wuthering Waves and Genshin Impact. And so the reality over here is very, very, very simple. Genshin Impact is likely a game that's always going to make more money than Wuthering Waves, at least until like this number grows tremendously. And the reason for that is simple. Genshin has a massive mobile player base. We all know that. It's the COVID buff. People played that shit on their phones, and I guess they've been addicted to that shit on their phones for a very, very, very long time. It's kind of obvious at this point. But in terms of PC and that market, well, it's literally fallen behind. Even with the COVID buff, this game somehow lost its lead. And that's kind of impressive once you think about it. But then as you look at some of the other statistics that are available in this report, you're seeing that PC gaming as a whole has simply just been rising as time has gone on. Yes, COVID might have been the time for like mobile titles and stuff like that, but pretty much every single year afterwards, we've seen a solid amount of growth when it comes to well, PC as a gaming place. And so you see over here are some of the other games. You got like Battlefield 6 at 22, Arc Raiders at 26, Monster Hunter Wilds, kind of actually disappointed with how that one turned out, 33, Repo, and then Elden Ring Night Ring at 50. Yeah, I guess a lot of, this did not pop off as much as people thought, or maybe it's too hard for people to play, right? And just looking a little bit further, remember what I mentioned about like COVID and like the like post-COVID sort of industry? Yeah, it wasn't looking particularly too good, right? It was like a big turn of like, oh, everyone's playing games now, but then, oh, we can go back outside again, and then it's like, oh, outside isn't really that good, is it? Yeah, especially with the economy in shambles and AI ruining everything. Let's go back to gaming again, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, first we had COVID getting people back into gaming. Now we got AI doing the same fucking thing. So, yeah, people don't want to touch grass no more because they don't got no more money anymore. And that's where the conversation's going to get a little bit interesting, right? Because out of all the games on here, which are the ones that are free to play? A lot of them. Yeah, a lot of these games here are legitimately actually free-to-play games. To the point where it's not surprising at all to see titles like these growing a lot. And so that's where I can see a lot of sense from the comment over here by Sticks. This is not indicative of total revenue, nor mobile or console. This is PC exclusively. Because, well, what happens during times of recession, ladies and gentlemen? When there's not that much money to go around in the household, yeah, you start looking for free forms of entertainment. And that is why content creation, streaming, all of that, YouTube, is counter-cyclical to what's going on. So my honest wishes is that the economy just gets worse and worse so that I get more and more viewers on all of my videos and streams. And every streamer should be thinking that way. So, yeah, if they ever do talk about like that sort of stuff, make sure you call them out on their dishonesty. Yeah, because as the economy gets worse, content creators do better and better and better. Yeah. And we know everyone got poor during COVID. We all remember that, don't we? Anyways, that's just a bit of like an overall industry view on what's actually going on. And you can see over here some of the specific demographics when it comes to PC growth. Eastern Asians led the global user base expansion. So that basically just means there's a bunch more Chinese, Japanese, and Korean people playing this shit. And there's a growing number of Gen Z and Gen Alpha share of total PC players. Yes, they're moving away from consoles generally when it comes to that age, which kind of like makes sense because people don't really stream with consoles, right? And like streamers, that sort of stuff, and content creators, they have kind of like taken a bit of a stranglehold on this whole sort of like this gaming medium over here. And there's higher average selling prices, and then Valve, Steam, all of that is doing quite a bit to drive most of this growth. And so naturally, right, there's a lot of questions that we need to answer. There's a lot of takes that we need to take a look at because, well, doesn't it become a lot more clear now how this whole 550 plus million USD is coming into fruition? Even though when you look at mobile revenue estimates and all that stuff, right, Wuthering Waves doesn't look like it's coming anywhere sort of like close to meeting that number with just mobile calculations alone. Because we're gonna have App Magic over here for the month of February, right? And February is on the record by Kuro Games and by Solon Lee themselves to be the best revenue the game ever had for, as we all know, the release of this unit over here. We've got good old Amith. And like I said before, she's the most popular and most highly sold unit the game has ever had. Factually told by the CEO. But when you go ahead and you look at some of this info over here, again, the month of February for when she came out, Wuthering Waves is, only making more than 20 million, right? And it's obviously not making as much as 50, otherwise, it would have showed the greater than 50 over here. Still above Genshin Impact, but obviously not even close to meeting this whole 550 plus a year marker, because that's the best month that Wuthering Waves apparently had. And like, even if you go ahead, you multiply it by 12, yeah, it's not even getting halfway there, brother man. So you can assume most of the sales of this game are actually happening on the PC or maybe even the console, kind of like in line with everything that we're seeing over here. And of course, when we take a look at some additional glue over here as well, yeah, the game is constantly showing up even on the Luke banner over here. Even on the fucking Luke banner over here, it's somehow showing up in the top sellers. I'm gonna be honest with you. How the fuck is that even happening? Because we all assumed that everyone was skipping this motherfucker. But when his banner launched, he still made it into the top 6. That's kind of crazy if I'm gonna be real with you, right? And then when Amith came out, in line, right, with all of the stuff that was being said. The game even beat Counter-Strike 2 for revenue. And remember where Counter-Strike 2 was on this ranking over here. It's the second most played game in the world. The second most played game in the world. And Wuthering Waves beat it on Steam. And guess where Counter-Strike 2 is? I think you can only play it on Steam. I don't think you can even play Counter-Strike 2 on other platforms. I think Steam is the only place that you can play it. There's just a lot of people on Steam. Well, let the data speak for itself. And this is another realization that I think most people need to have when it comes to PC sales versus mobile and console sales, is that these other games that we've been looking at, right? Or really not looking at because they're not fucking on here. Think of your titles like your Arknights Enfields, right? Your Zenless Zone Zeros, your Honkai Star Rails. Right now, you can kind of think of them as the biggest failures in the gacha space, but that failure can be compounded by the fact that they don't appear to have actually a lot of PC players, and if most of their sales are on mobile, well, this is something else that's a reality about mobile sales, ladies and gentlemen. There's a 2026 settlement. Google is reducing the transaction fee, but apparently there are service fees that were ranging from 30% down to 15 for any sales that you have from like the App Store, any sales that you have from like the Play Store. And then you can see like Apple's number over here is a 30% commission on those sales. Guys, Hoyoverse is not a small business earning under 1 million annually. So yeah, they're not really necessarily getting a 15% discount. They're getting like the full 30% charge on all their stuff. Let me just tell you this. The commissions on PC are lower. And some companies like Kuro Games, I think they just have their own platform for PC sales. So that just means that they're getting most of, if not the full cut from any sales that they're having on the PC. They're basically getting rid of the middleman. That's Google or Apple in these circumstances. And so naturally, I think it becomes a lot more clear now that we've taken a look at the revenue number, we've taken a look at all of this stuff, right? Guys, profitability is what actually matters for these games. Who cares how much money you're making, how much your revenue number is, if your costs are super high and then they bleed into your revenue and then they reduce your overall profit? Yes, a lot of people don't understand that basic financial tenet. Who cares if you made $20 if it costs you $19 to produce the goods? That means you essentially made only $1. And so for all of these games where a majority of their sales are actually on mobile, they're taking a really, really, really big cut. Yeah, a massive cut. And PayPal obviously is another method that you could use. I think the cut on PayPal is only like 5% though. Yeah, PayPal is kind of known as one of the more popular mobile providers because they don't take as much of a cut. And guess what? Your credit card company also takes a fucking cut of the transactions as well. So, yeah. Steam also has their own transaction fee as well that they take a cut of. But guess what, guys? When it comes to the Steam charts for Wuthering Waves, I don't even think the game has that many players on Steam. You can just take a look at the numbers over here. Yeah, that's not a particularly large amount when it comes to the total overall player base, because once again, right, we got the data over here that it is the 18th most played game in the world and the #1 gacha game played in the world on PC. And yeah, I don't think that many players is encompassed in here. I would say that this is actually a minority when it comes to the player base. Most people, I think, still actually use the original launcher for the game because, well, that's the one I first downloaded it with, so I don't feel any reason to re-download it on Steam because I already had it on the official launcher and I've had it on it since launch. So yes, most of the players, I would imagine, actually, because again, like, how the fuck else would this even make? Like, there's no other way. Like, it's got to be like it's got to be a minority over here that's using Steam. So that's the reality, right, guys? Wuthering Waves is at the top when it comes to the PC, and without a doubt, PC is the most profitable way for companies to monetize their goods. So it's a combination of being the best game on PC and PC, or the highest performing game on PC, but then PC is also the most profitable out of all the platforms. Do you see why we somehow are getting like we haven't had like an official filler patch in Wuthering Waves since I think version 2.1. I'm not even joking. We haven't had an official filler patch. Maybe that's because like Kuro's actually just shitting out money so they can always have like some type of like story progression. Yeah, like they're just shitting out money like crazy so they can always have like some type of like story progression. There's like so many new map expansions and shit like that. Haven't we gotten a new map every single patch? Yeah, it feels like we've almost gotten a new map every single patch at this point. Maybe that's just because they have way more budget than we'd ever expected, and that's because the game's actually been doing insanely well on the PC, and you don't gotta deal with nearly as many of these fees over here. So yeah. Or maybe it's all just like Tencent money, right? But then again, I think Tencent is pretty happy with how the game and how their investments are looking, especially considering you got results like this. And I guess that's what it looks like, ladies and gentlemen. When a game actually decides to go ahead, and when it comes to the investment that players have put in with the raw dollar and, you know, with the raw dollars and stuff, bro, we like nobody expected this patch to be this good. I don't think anyone expected the patch to have this much content in it already. I thought that they were going to take their foot off the gas pedal because 3.1 was so stacked, right? In terms of like story, in terms of like events, all of that stuff. But instead, we're going to have, some could call it a filler main story, but it's still going to be related to Star Torch Academy, Lucilla, all of that. Lahai Roy, it's still going to be related to like world building. It's not like some like actual like pure filler that doesn't add anything to the arc. It's probably going to be referenced later on when Lahai Roy arc reaches its conclusion. Then it's also going to have like another segue story as well with like Lucilla and like the whole, you know, Miko and stuff like that. And then we're still somehow getting quality of life, bro. Like, I feel like these are the ones that nobody saw coming. Like, well, I already thought the echo management was like pretty decent, but then they're apparently coming out with an upgraded version of this shit. And the double pawns matrix was also something that I thought was already pretty well established. But yeah, they're renaming it, and then they reworked everything when it comes to the game mode, including like its UI and stuff like that. And this is the thing, guys. When you see this update, right, especially compared to other modern or supposedly modern gacha titles like Arknight's Enfield 1.1, which is a fucking joke. Like, bro, have you ever seen a game flop this badly before? That is 1.1 on YouTube, guys. That is it. That is the dev log is more searched than Tank Tang's release, because everyone knows this patch is shit and it's already going back down. Bro, the game's been out for like 1 or 2 days. Web search, oh, surely it's better. That's an uptrend. Sure. Yeah, sure. That's not good. That's not good, is it? That's not good either, is it? Yeah, it somehow the CN revenue charts for this game literally match up with the shit you see here. It's actually exactly the same. This is what you call a failure. And when the space is currently littered with failures to like every single degree, guys, we all saw what was in the HSR 4.1 update, right? Bro, this shit is buns. Bro, this shit is dog shit. We all know this is garbage and trash, bro. I think their 4.1 patch, guys, I think they have one new character, right? You just released the new version. Why are you taking your foot off the gas pedal? Are you running out? What the fuck even is this?
Hello,
You just released 4.0. It's like these guys don't want to succeed. It's like these guys are trying to fail. Or maybe they're just running out of budget because they've been recycling the same fucking character designs over and over and over, bro. It's like, bro, hey, they didn't even put in her new model because they all knew it was the same shit anyways. Isn't there supposed to be Silverwolf level 999? They just put in the regular Silverwolf instead. Or maybe that is a level 999 outfit. I don't fucking know. They both look the fucking same. Huh? And then you got this amazing breakdown over here. Where's Zenless Zone Zero? Yeah, let's take a look at that ZZZ 2.7 situation over here. Let's see what we got over here. What are you idiots doing? What are you idiots doing with this game? Bro, like this has to be like, these are the Sinister Sisters, bro. They just EOSing the game. They are the angels of EOS right here. Everyone knows these guys don't make any money. Everyone knows nobody wants to actually pull these units. But you want to know what they plan for the fucking... Bro, I need to show you the banner schedule in this game. It's diabolical. So, this is like the new Gooner Bait character. Let's be honest here, right? She actually just looks like... She just looks like a porn star, bro, that they ported into the game. Like, I'm not gonna lie. This design is absolutely fucking insane. Like, it's actually... Like, it almost doesn't make sense why you would, like, at this point, What is this game? You can't even say, like, I know a meme that people like to make, right? Is that it's like, oh, XYZ character if they were in WuWa and they talk about like a provocative design. Bro, what even is this? What even is this? But then, of course, we need to talk about the banner schedule. You got an Angel of Delusion over here that you know is not going to sell at all because nobody buys the Angels of Delusion. ZZZ players kept saying, like, target audience, but we all know nobody's pulling them. Then they proceed to follow up with target audience, right? Yadari. Bro, I think this is like the least selling. This is one of the lowest revenue characters in the history of the game. Literally, one of the lowest revenue characters in the history of the game. Which is surprising because she's pure Gooner bait as well. I feel like she might end up in the same spot, bro, right? This is like this was the clear Gooner bait unit that somehow didn't sell at all. You have another Gooner bait unit, and then guess what, guys? They brought back Seed, the foot unit, the unit for feet lovers. Bro, I'm pretty sure this is like the fetish patch. Do you think this one's going to do any well either? Do you think this is going to do any better? The reality is, no, it's fucking not. And you want to know why? It's pretty damn simple. I'm gonna actually use a post over here by, and I'm not going to lie. LD Shop been on a fucking rampage lately. LD Shop been going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs lately. They've been posting some of the craziest shit I've ever seen. And one of the craziest things that they've ever posted was their, like, revenue breakdown for ZZZ. Look at this. ZZZ 2.6 feels way colder than expected for the Angels of Delusion. And then they compiled like a revenue trend chart using data from like a CN source. Bro, just remember, when I said Yadari was one of the lowest revenue units in the game, I wasn't lying. She only got beaten apparently by Bon Yue. And Seed? Yeah, remember when I said she was doing shit too and the Angels of Delusion were all doing bad? Bro, their reruns are her, then they're releasing another Angel of Delusion. How do you think that's gonna do? And then after that, guys, they're releasing another Gooner character on the same tier as this Yadari unit over here. They just both look like porn stars. This shit is already cooked. Like, I'm just gonna call it right now. This shit is already cooked. Because guess why Yadari probably didn't end up doing well? Random Gooner bait character that comes out of nowhere, no story introduction, and just is there to be, like, pretty. Isn't this the same thing? This is just a repeat of Yadari. These guys don't learn. And so just get ready for another relaunch in 3.0. And another fucking Void Hunter. Because as you're all aware, Void Hunters appear to be the only thing in this fucking game that gets sales, apparently. So yes, relaunch number 17 is coming up. And you remember that dialogue that people always used in the past to excuse ZZZ's dog shit numbers? Everyone said, right, ZZZ was played a lot on the PC. I don't even know if you can say that anymore, because where the fuck is it, man? Where is it on this chart, then? If ZZZ is a game that's actually played more on the PC than on mobile, hopefully you can find something to verify that, because I can't see nothing over here. Where is the proof? As far as I'm concerned, ZZZ is just failing in every single market. And it's the same with HSR. And it's the same with Arknights Enfield. Because at the very least, you got two games over here. And Genshin's going to be the game that takes the less shots. That takes the least amount of shots in this video. You know why? Because at least Genshin can say they're right behind Wuthering Waves. In both aspects. At least Genshin has the privilege of saying they're WuWa's little brother. And it's proven here. And it's shown here as well. Genshin gets to hold the title of little bro. This shit though, yeah, I'm sorry for the Baltimore jump scare. This shit though, no. In HSR though, no. In Enfield though, oh hell no, no. This game is shit. This game is shit. And you wanna know how I know it's shit, bro? The patch came out 3 days ago. I have not seen a single person playing this game unsponsored. It's either a bunch of like small CCs. I haven't seen anyone that's been sponsored playing the game unsponsored. You need to pay people to play this game. People need to be fucking paid to play this game. It's either small glazing CCs or it's sponsored people. That's it. That's the reality, bro. I'll fucking refresh it too, eh? Maybe we can see. Where's the... Nobody's here anymore. But it's kind of obvious why, because this might be the worst patch in gacha history. And so, guys, there's a reason why Wuthering Waves retains all these players. Because even in situations where you don't expect them to even put out, like, a patch of this high quality... Bro, I could easily say this patch is like an 8. It's an 8 to 8.5 out of 10. I think a lot of people are going to have a very enjoyable time playing this update. I don't think anyone can deny that. People will have an enjoyable time in this update. I think it's an 8 minimum. I expected it to be like a 6 because we've gotten so many rich updates already with like 3.1 and stuff like that. And to all the people saying, oh, it's actually lower. Yeah, I don't think you've actually taken a look at how many fucking events are in this patch. Yeah, there's a lot of them. There's even story events too. So if you were like worried about it being like filler from that perspective, don't worry. Story enjoyers will still have their own fucking thing to absorb over here. And then right after this, guys, is the anniversary. This is what the pre-anniversary patch looks like in WuWa. The pre-anniversary quote-unquote filler patch looks like this in WuWa. And this is the pre-anniversary filler patch on HSR. Let me just end off the video by just letting you hear this segment from the live stream. Bye-bye!
Bye-bye! Bye-bye. Event-exclusive 1/8 scale Mechatron. New event-exclusive The Fluffy issue. What was the other thing again? First day limited edition special volume.
That's right, that's right! March, take these credits! I'll be counting on you during the official event!
Just leave it to me. I'll even get you a personalized autograph from the author. Not a problem.
Or you could just ask me. I'll slip into Blurry's system and get you the latest original draft of the Fluffy.
Well, perhaps we can discuss it off the record?
What? It's still just an empty new folder? Don't tell me they haven't even started drawing yet.
Oh, seriously? Come on, Blurry!
That's your anniversary unit, by the way. Yeah, that's hey, if you thought that was hard to listen to, get ready for Silver Wolf level 999, bro. That's your anniversary unit, bro. You think that's hyping people up? You think that shit is hyping people up, bro? Bro, that's the anniversary unit in this game. And that's what the pre-anniversary patch looks like for HSR, guys. Cringe level 999. Get that shit out of here. So yeah, as you can see, there's a reason why we did so much research for this one. Because genuinely, the gacha space looks like some absolute doo-doo water right now. But there's a bunch of reasons for why it looks like doo-doo water. It's because Hoyoverse and Hypergriff can't stop failing. And I don't know what's causing such a repeated number of absolute failures in their decision-making, their business planning, all of that. I have the player base right now, guys. Why do you think there's so much toxicity towards Wuthering Waves? Because these guys have nothing to do in their games. You just have to look on Twitter right now, the amount of doom posting, the amount of rage baiting, right, that's been going on towards the Wuthering Waves community has been unreal. But can you necessarily blame them when there's this much sunk cost? The games are getting this bad, and Hoyoverse is only making them worse. Yeah, you can't, because they have poor emotional control because they're a bunch of stunted people from... You already know what I'm talking about. It is what it is. And if you want one measure of where you can see the certain rankings of gacha games, at least on the Epic Game Store, which unfortunately isn't really that accurate of a measure, simply due to the fact that there's not that many people that use the Epic Game Store. The way that the gacha games are going to be looking is you have... Oh, they have Hiyuki and Infinity Nikki. That's pretty crazy. Wuthering Waves, then HSR, somehow. I don't really... This is the part I don't understand, because that doesn't really make a lot of sense. Then you got Genshin after HSR, and then ZZZ down here. But they ate here, so, like, yeah, that's why I mean the Epic Game Store is only representative. But it does kind of tell a story that Wuthering Waves is only behind Fortnite here. Yeah, doesn't it? It does kind of tell its own story, doesn't it? Yeah. There's some additional glue for you. And just in case you were a ZZZ enjoyer, just... Yeah, no, your shit is cooked, brother. But yeah, hopefully this explains why the gacha space is looking so crazy right now, and why Wuthering Waves players are in such a good mood relative to pretty much every single other gacha company. Because as we all know, Genshin is going to be really mad seeing this one, knowing that they are, in fact, second place in pretty much every single respect, other than player count. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this one, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you all thought. Peace out.